In 1992, a young man named Marcus Johnson was arrested for a brutal crime he swore he didn't commit. The case against him was shaky from the very beginning. There was no physical evidence linking Marcus to the crime. There was no motive. Yet, prosecutors insisted that Marcus was guilty. Marcus grew up in a small town where everybody knew each other. He was quiet, hardworking, and deeply loved by his family. But on one fateful night, a terrible crime shook the community, and Marcus suddenly became the prime suspect. The pressure to solve the case quickly was immense. Police officers, desperate to bring peace back to the community, focused their attention on Marcus. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that was enough. The investigation was riddled with flaws. Eyewitnesses claimed Marcus was nowhere near the scene, yet their statements were ignored. Fingerprints recovered from the crime scene didn't match Marcus, but the jury never heard about it. Instead, the prosecution relied on circumstantial evidence and speculation. Marcus pleaded his innocence over and over again. His lawyer fought to expose the inconsistencies, but the system was stacked against him. In the courtroom, Marcus was portrayed as a monster. The jury, influenced by fear and emotion, returned a guilty verdict. Marcus was sentenced to life in prison. Behind bars, Marcus's world collapsed. His mother, who had always believed in him, stood by his side through every appeal. She wrote letters to advocacy groups, journalists, and lawyers, begging them to take another look at her son's case. Years turned into decades, but she never gave up hope. As Marcus sat in prison, the real story began to unravel outside. Several years after his conviction, another man confessed to the crime. This confession should have been enough to free Marcus immediately, but it wasn't. Instead, the authorities buried the evidence. The file was hidden away, the confession silenced, and Marcus remained behind bars. The injustice was staggering. A man had confessed, yet Marcus continued to serve a life sentence. His appeals were denied time and time again, often without explanation. Every door he tried to open was slammed shut. Marcus's story is one of pain, but it is also one of resilience. Despite the crushing weight of injustice, he refused to let the system break him. He read books, educated himself about the law, and helped other inmates fight their cases. He became a symbol of quiet strength, even in the darkest of places. Years later, new attorneys took up Marcus's case. They uncovered the hidden file, exposing the buried confession and the mishandling of evidence. The truth was undeniable. Marcus had been wrongfully convicted. The system had failed him at every level. Police, prosecutors, and even judges who looked the other way. The public began to take notice. Journalists told Marcus's story, and advocacy groups rallied to his defense. His case became a symbol of the broader fight against wrongful convictions. People asked, how many others like Marcus are still locked away, paying for crimes they didn't commit? After nearly 3 decades, Marcus finally walked free, but freedom came at a cost. He had lost his youth, his dreams, and precious years with his family. His mother, who had fought for him every single day, lived long enough to see him come home. Marcus's story is more than just one man's nightmare. It is a mirror reflecting the flaws of a justice system that too often values convictions over truth. A system where evidence can be ignored, files can be hidden, and lives can be destroyed in the name of closure. This is not just Marcus's story. It is a story of thousands who suffer in silence, waiting for justice that may never come. And the question we must all ask is this: how many more Marcus Johnsons are still behind bars? Please don't forget to click the like button, share, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.